really a pleasure for me to spend a little time this afternoon speaking with Dr. Laurie McCauley. Dr. McCauley was a 2016 recipient of the Shils Award from the Shils Entrepreneurial Fund. Dr. McCauley is currently the William K. and Marianne Najar Professor of Periodontology and is also the Dean at the University of Michigan School of Dentistry. I've had the pleasure of knowing Laurie for many years, and during my time at Colgate, actually spent time on her advisory board, which was really exciting. And actually, we're working with the architects, the Smith Group, that worked on her project and is finishing up hopefully soon. And we're just starting our renovation. So we're excited to kind of work with that group and see what we can do to improve our facility, as I know, Laurie, you have. And I know that's been keeping you very busy, but welcome.
Thank you. It's great to see you, Fody, and I'm honored to be invited to talk with you today.
Great. So we just have a few questions for you. And as we mentioned prior to getting on, we're interviewing a number of former recipients as part of the 20th anniversary celebration of the Shils Entrepreneurial Fund. So, I mean, I'm pretty familiar with kind of what you do as a dean, obviously, but it would be interesting just to hear a little bit from you what's keeping you busy today.
Well, yes, I am dean of the dental school at the University of Michigan, and I've been dean for about eight and 3/4 years now. I have been here at Michigan for 30 years, so I've been here for a long time. But as dean, I really oversee the mission of the school, which is advancing health through education, service, research, and discovery. And so all of those aspects, fall under my umbrella. You mentioned our renovation project that has been a big piece of our time. It's a 4.5-year project. We have 3 months left. So we're gonna have a big celebration in September for that. The new spaces are fabulous, so that's exciting. As a more senior dean on our campus, we have 19 schools and colleges. I've been brought into more and more university service activities, serving in committees to oversee professional standards. I'm currently the lead on the Health Science Council, which are the deans of all the health science schools on our campus, also the Flint and Dearborn campuses. And I'm a co-lead of the capital campaign for the entire university.
Oh, wow.
At least the academic side of it. So, and I still very much love science and continue to have a research program.
So really got a lot of free time on your hand, it sounds.
Fortunately, I love what I do.
I know that I can attest to. I've seen you in action, and you do bring a lot of passion to what you do, and I think that's what's needed today in a great leader, which I know you are. So let's talk a little bit about the award you got from the Shils Entrepreneurial Fund, and maybe a little bit about what that meant to you, and sort of how that felt when you got recognized back in 2016.
Yeah, well, it was really special because I'll be honest, I was not very familiar with the Shils. And so to get a message that I had won this award, and I looked into it and saw some of the past recipients at that time, Mike Alfano, Kathy Laughlin, Art Dugoni, Dushenka Kleinman, Malcolm Gladwell. I mean, when I looked at some of the past recipients, I thought, wow, this is really something. And then going to the reception in Philadelphia, which was a really exciting event. That was just, I'll just say, to be recognized by your peers, there's nothing better. It was just truly an honor. It was a great event. I distinctly remember, sometimes when you get awards, they just give you an award, and sometimes they ask you to share some words. And I distinctly remember talking about how important my students were and how important they had been to my entire career and to my successes as a faculty member and continue to be as a leader. Just how critical students are in the work that we do. Anyways, it was just this compilation of really, fabulous former recipients, peers, and then that event, which was really special.
Yeah, I know, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but one of the reasons why I left Colgate after, many successful years there was because I missed being with students, after leaving academics to go into the industry. And today I spent the morning in the clinic, in our urgent care clinic with our students, and I really cherish those times because it really does energize you and really brings to sharp focus the reason why we're doing what we're doing. And so I hear everything that you say and fully agree. So speaking about dental students, now you're coming up to as dean, this would be your ninth graduation. Obviously you're handing the diplomas and shaking the hands, at least now that we're able to do in-person graduations after some challenges the last couple of years. But what kind of advice are you giving your new graduates as they leave Michigan and go out into the world?
Well, it's a great question, and I actually have the great fortune to lead a elective in leadership where I have 12 students, and we spend several weeks talking about leadership and leadership traits, and it's just a really rewarding experience, I'll say. But one of the things that I say to students, and I say this at orientation, but it's still true at graduation, is to be flexible, to be adaptable. Especially now we're in a profession and in a world that's changing so rapidly, to be able to adapt to new things, whether they're technologies or to just differing individuals, personalities who they're going to encounter over their lifetime, I think is incredibly important. I encourage them to be curious because I think curiosity is such an important trait. It may be tied to my interest in science, but I think being curious is an important part of being able to deploy the best treatment for patients, because that curiosity enables you to know your patient better. And so I encourage them to be curious. I encourage them to care about the people that they treat and the people that they work with. I encourage them to work hard because, you can get far by working hard. And if people think that there's some easy route to take, it's not likely to happen. But by working hard, they should also be able to enjoy their profession, enjoy the career that they've chosen. And I think that's incredibly important. And I also encourage them to pay attention to their own health. And I mean that physically and mentally. Dentistry as a profession is incredibly rewarding, but it can also be challenging physically, emotionally. And as healthcare providers and leaders, they should be role models for their patients in deploying optimal health, their own health.
Yeah.
Like exercise, like you do, Fody. I know. Fody,
and you as well.
Quite a runner. Yeah.
And you as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all, and I agree. It's all about putting your oxygen mask on first, right? And we sometimes forget that when we get into the leadership role, that we need to take care of ourselves. And I think that also models that behavior to the folks around us. Yeah,
I remember, when the pandemic was starting, and I distinctly remember thinking, I need to make sure that I, can be there to be able to, fight the fight and get through, all the things, the challenges that I knew we were going to be facing. And I knew to do that, I had to take care of myself.
Yeah. No, I hear you. That's great. So you mentioned Hal Slavkin a little bit earlier. I'm going to be interviewing him next week for his award. And it's always a treat to talk to Hal. And I know for me, he was one of the people as I was coming through my early career in research and establishing myself. He was at NIDCR and all the things he did. So he's one of the people that continues to inspire me. But so I don't want to take Hal off the table. If Hal is one that inspires you, please include him. But who inspires you today as you sit there, in your role, doing what you're doing when you look around within, whether it's in the dental profession or beyond, who kind of gives you inspiration today?
Well, I'll tell you, for so many years of my faculty life, Martha Summerman was an incredible role model to me because she was just so passionate and so successful and so thoughtful, all at the same time. And she's still a dear friend and role model to me. I also just think the world of Jean Sinkford. She's just amazing, just an incredible person. She was the first female dean of a dental school in the United States in 1975. And after that, she spent many years at ADEA and in a leadership role, and she continues. I mean, she's
still
I
very
don't
active.
I won't mention her age, although I know it because maybe she wouldn't want me to mention it, but she's up there in years and she is still incredibly inspirational. I have her book.
You have the book. Yeah, I got it as well.
Undaunted
Yeah, it's amazing.
Trailblazers.
Yeah, Sheila Price, who's at our school, was one of the authors, and I remember her talking about putting the book together. And no, I hear you.
Yeah. And several years ago, I nominated her for an honorary degree at the University of Michigan. Went in with a couple other faculty members to nominate her, and she received an honorary degree from the University of Michigan. And I'm not saying from the dental school, from the entire university.
Yeah.
And as I know, the only dentist, at least in the last 20 years, who's received an honorary degree from the University of Michigan. And she's been a great friend of our campus, I'll just say, and to many, a great role model. And she's something special.
I think two excellent inspirational role models that you mentioned. I'm sure there are others as well that you have, when you think about it more broadly. So, well, listen, it was wonderful to take a little bit of your time today and spend this time discussing the award and what it meant to you and answering our questions and being part of our 20th anniversary celebration. So thank you, Laurie, again. It was really
Thank you, and congratulations on 20 years of the Shils Fund. It's just really, truly an honor to be a part of it.
Great. Well, thank you again.